Okay, so I literally just got home from cutting my hair. Well, not home, but I cut my own hair. Like, yeah, I don't know if you guys knew that, but yeah, I cut my own hair. I was outside and I just kept refreshing TCB because that's where I rated the chapters before they come out officially through Viz. And I was constantly refreshing, and I follow Pew Piece on Twitter. And I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but they tweeted out, TCB just dropped chapter 1111, and I'm like, hell yeah, let's fucking do this. I finished cutting my hair quick. I ran inside. I didn't even dress to impress today. I just kind of wore whatever, and I should have dressed to impress because it's the last chapter of the week or of the month until next month, because announcement, Oda is taking a break, and I assume it's due to Akira Toriyama's passing, and that's kind of what he mentioned. And rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. I didn't make a video about that because, I mean, what can I possibly say? But rest in peace to him. Oda said he's fine. He just wants to, reflect. It's probably like a tribute to Toriyama. And he's also wants to, and I guess he wants to take a break, chill. Because he said he wants to find out what One Piece really is at this point. I don't know what that means. Maybe he still needs to think of a better ending or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's the little update from Oda. But anyways, we got One Piece chapter 1111, and we're starting off with the Shonen Jump cover. And we got the Three Musketeers here. It's Luffy holding a gun. He's looking badass in the front. We got Zoro at number 2. He's holding his sword. And we got Sanji in the back holding a gun. Three Musketeers. And if you guys didn't know, Sanji's previous design was gonna be like a sharpshooter. He's gonna be like a gunslinger, pew pew. And that was Oda's previous work, kind of like how Nami had this giant axe. Now, apart from the Shonen Jump cover, we also have a color spread. We got Nami, Bonnie as a kid, and Chopper just eating down some fries. Seems like Bonnie ate hers, and she's just kind of scarfing down the rest. We got Brook giving Jinbei some fries. Jinbei's just floating around. Zoro's down there. Kuma's down there. Sanji's talking to Robin. He's cooking up some fries. Luffy has fucking 10 buckets already. He's already ate a bunch. We got Vegapunk inside of a submarine. And they're all sitting on top of these glowing jellyfish. And it just looks really cool. This looks really good. Anyways, that was a color spread. Let's get into the chapter because this is the last one until April 22nd. So we're starting off with chapter 1111. And we're starting off kind of like how we left off last time a little bit. Remember where I mentioned the Marcus Mars, the Itsumade just kind of flew right into the fucking, the labosphere, the fucking barrier. And I was like, it looks like he's a mosquito and he just fucking doosh and just got zapped. Well, that's not the case because he's still alive, obviously. I don't think that would have killed him. But he just kind of went right through it. And now he's on the hunt. He's on the prowl. And he's going into the lab area. And Jinbei was on his way to get Zoro, remember? So Jinbei looks up and he's like, holy crap, what the hell is this? This hockey is unreal. And he notices it. And he's like, fight's over, Zoro. We're leaving now. And Zoro's like, huh? Jinbei? And no. And then Lucci's just standing there trying to be Whitebeard. But he can never compare to Whitebeard, alright? Look at him. He's trying to be Whitebeard so bad. Zoro turns around and he's like, he's still standing. And he's like, ah. And then he screams. And Sanji gets in contact with Jinbei. He's like, Jinbei, you got him yet? He's like, I'm on it. He grabs Zoro from his neck. And he's like, come on, Zoro. You won already. Let's go. And he's like, ah. And he chokes him out. And he's like, my bad, Lucci. Fishman karate. 5,000 brick fist. That's a new move. And he just fucking sends him flying. Just fucking sends him. I don't know where he ends up, but he kind of ended up where Marcus Mars is at. And the giant bird demon thing is like, Rob Lucci of Cypher Pole Aegis Zero. Where is York? And Lucci's face is like, what the fuck is this? He's just kind of standing there or he's on his knees, but he's like, he also reverted back to Lucci. He's not in his leopard form anymore, so he's just kind of there what the fuck is this? Jinbei, we cut back to him, and he's running away with Zoro on top of it, and he's like, what is that thing? And you could see just a giant serpent thing, and they're like, what the? We cut back to Lucci, and he's like, she's still tied up in the control room. It's on the 4th floor of Building A. And he's panting and shit, Then he has like fucking cuts all over his body. And then he takes out one of the Black Denton mushies. I don't know why, but he's like, the two that just ran off are Roro Zoro and Jinbei, the Knight of the Sea. There are 5 more Straw Hats up here. And 2 Vegapunks. He's like, they're preparing to escape from the back entrance of the Labostratum. Also, there are 85 Cypherpole agents and 4 Seraphim imprisoned in the basement. And Marcus Mars is just like, okay. He's like, and we also have 6 minutes before Vegapunk's message. So 4 minutes have elapsed since then. Marcus Mars is like, splendid work. I have no further queries. And he's just like, and we also see what's his name? Hattori? The little pigeon guy that sits on like Lucci's shoulder all the time, and he's like flapping towards Lucci, and he's like flap flap, and then Lucci's just like, I have one last thing to ask. He's like, my partner, he should be in the control room, but he was really injured. Please spare him. Like, please find a way and spare him. Now, this is crazy when you think about it. This is good character development because Lucci has always been portrayed as like the, I don't give a fuck, I'll cut down whoever it is. I mean, he just he gave no second thought and just destroyed Stussy. I mean, sure, Stussy, whatever. He did that finger pistol thing and just fucking like ran her right through her ribs or whatever. And he didn't hesitate once. He's like, if you come after me again, you'll die, you know? And I feel like he's always been this stern, like, work first. Friends and everything else, go fuck themselves, you know? But here he's like, Lucci's there, please do not kill him. Like, please spare his life. Like, please find a way to spare him. And that's cool because that means he does care about Kaku. You know, did I say Lucci earlier? But he does care about Kaku and he really wants Kaku to, you know, make it out alive. And I think that's pretty cool of him. But anyways, Marcus Mars obviously gives no shits because he's like, all you people below me are nothing but trash. And he says, that might not be possible. It is hard to single out a lone insect when you're exterminating the hive. He just starts flapping with this fucking hockey and everything just coming out of him. We cut away. Double page spread. We see Luffy. And he's like, giant old timers, it's really you. You know, Dory and Bragi, they're like, it's been over 2 years, Straw Hat. We hardly recognize you. And then Bragi's like, ba 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 ba. They tell the tales about the god in Elbaf. Where did you learn how he looked? And Luffy's like, huh? And then they're like, yeah, your appearance, dude. It's a pleasant surprise. But like, why do you look like that? Ga ba 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 ba. And he's like, I don't get it, but like, can we talk later? And they're just having a conversation. I love this. You see Luffy and he's just so happy to see Dory and Bragi again. And then we see the Hoki, which is War Curry top man, and he's like, giants? And they're like, a most unpalatable complication, says Saturn. They're like, what enormous beast. It feels like we're back in the jungles of Elbaf. And he's like, old timers, we're not meant to fight right now. We're supposed to run away. Luffy's like, we're supposed to leave. He's like, we know. Sanji told us when we bumped into him earlier. And he's like, yeah, he said this. Yeah, when you see Luffy, tell him, we're meeting up on the other end of the island. And then we get like a little flashback to when, you know, he was running with Vegapunk. And he's like, hey, Dory, Bragi, you know, we leave it to you. And he's like, all right. He's like, we decided to help you escape. Now, we get like a chibi version of like the Straw Hats. Now, we see Luffy and his group. Or remember when they first arrived at like giant, you know, futuristic city? They're like on the back of it, or like on the front of it, I would say. Yeah, because they wanted to get the ship from that end to this end. So we got Luffy, Dory, and Bragi. I'll put up, you know, the diagram. We got Sanji and Vegapunk heading towards the ship. We got Bonnie's group, which is just Bonnie and Frankie with, you know, like a bunch of other giants. And we see the Elbaf ship. We also see that Usopp and Nami are still up on the Labostratum, you know, on top where Punk Records is at. And we get this cool little thing, and then we see like the battleships all around. This is really cool. This looks like a Nintendo Bit 64 game or whatever. And yeah, they're like, yeah, we decided to help you when we saw the news. Like, we saw this shit was going down, we just had to help you. The report said that the Navy was surrounding you after all. And then you hear Dory go like a boo. He starts doing like the horn or whatever. Like the Elbaf horn or something. And you could just hear it all over the place. And they're like, huh? The giants look up. They're like, the signal from the captains. They found Straw Hat. Head to the ship. Retreat. And then you see like all the giants and they start like moving around. They're all running away. And they're like, rescuing them was our only goal. It's not like warships have treasure to loot anyways. You're not wrong. Yeah. And then you see like the Marines and they're like, oh shit, they're too big, damn it. Now we get, this is a double page spread. After all this is happening, Top Man War Curry does like a roar, just fucking like, I'm not gonna roar because I can't. But you see a bunch of hockey like just coming out of him. And you see the giant pirates, Dory and Broggy. This part's amazing. You see Dory and Broggy, they put up their shields and they're blocking like the fucking roar, but it's still resonating all over the freaking island, right? Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Now, this is hilarious. Dory and Broggy don't know his abilities, Luffy's. For us, for context, even Vegapunk was like, I don't know why that transformation is rather this, but he's sure, he seems rather different in this form. So did Bonnie. They're like, what the hell? Why do you look like that? Even Nami and like Usopp and all them, they were like, yeah, we don't know. He just kind of turned into that. Nobody knew what the heck his abilities were. Now you'd expect Dory and Broggy, who haven't seen Luffy in a long time, and they don't know he's like a freaking Bugs Bunny, 1920s, gag character, right? Because the roar blows off. Luffy's eyeballs just fall off. His scar gets taken off. His sandals, the ring around him, everything's just falling off. Broggy's like, what the fuck? His face is hilarious. And Luffy's just like, ah! And everything is just coming off of him. Like the mythical, ring zone thing. That thing is blowing back. And it just looks hilarious. And everyone is hearing this. Like this roar is coming everywhere. Now, last time I mentioned, like, he didn't do shit. But like, holy fuck. We see a bunch of Marines and they're like, the island's going crazy again. And they just get knocked out. And they're like, hey, what's going on? And then Dory and Broggy are like, hey, you good, Straw Hat? Oh my god, did you break? He's like, your body's so funky. Yeah. And they're just like laughing. And it seems like they both did this. They like put it in front of Luffy because they thought the things were gonna fly away. And that's just hilarious, dude. I'll put up this panel. I love this panel. This is funny. Now, we cut back to Luffy and he's just like, whew, that was close. And he's holding his scar. The scar he has under his eye, he's holding his scar in his hand. And he's like putting himself back together like a fucking Lego. And he's like, there we go. There's my scar. And I just thought that was funny. Now, that's not the only shenanigan that's going to happen in this chapter. Because something crazier happens later. So, we see the Hoki and, they're like, a conqueror's hockey roar? Who is this guy? And they're like, some government big shot? And then he does like a spin thing. They're like, ah! Now Dory's like, Broggy! And he's like, right, I know. And, the Hoki or whatever, he's coming straight towards Luffy. And they use this sick move called Sun Shield Svalin? Maybe the S is silent. Valin? Sun Shield Svalin? Svalin? Maybe it's from German. I don't know. But I don't really know. I think I saw this somewhere like when I was reading Greek and like mythology and all that crap. But I don't think it's from that. I don't remember. But it's like there was these knights that protected the sun instead of it the other way, so the rays wouldn't hit like the humans or something like that. And so this is the opposite. They're protecting the sun from something else hitting it. So I think that's the reference. I'm not too sure, to be honest. You can probably look it up. Sun Shield, Svalin. This is Valin. I don't know. But anyways, the Hoki, the Fang Shi. I think that's what he's called. A Fang Shi. I'm just gonna call him War Man Top Curry. I'm just calling him Top Curry. Top Curry was like, what quirk of destiny ties you together? Do you have any idea who this man is? And Dory and Broggy are like, of course we do. Yeah. He's our buddy. And then they just like they do like a BAM. And with this strength, they just send them flying. And they say, split, skylda. See, these are weird names. But they just fucking boom! And Warman, Warman? Yeah, War Curry, Top Man, War Curry, I said the opposite. He just gets sent flying back. Boom! Crashes into buildings. So then you're saying Saturn's like, if that's where you stand, then we will have to erase you from world history along with him. And then he starts shooting like a bunch of like pellets. And Luffy's like, watch out, that's venom. Like, don't let that hit you. So then Luffy gets his arm turns into like a giant, like Gear 3rd. And then he grabs a palm tree. And you know those things in woodshop class where they would like spin the wood? And you had a tool and you like touch the wood and the wood would like shave it off and you could like make it smooth? That's kind of what he's doing with his teeth. And then he just magically spawns a paint bucket. And he paints his bat and puts a 56 on it because I think 56 is Gomu. You know, that's kind of like Oda's reference. That's his number. And he's like, she. And he turns the palm tree into a bat. And somehow he also has like a baseball hitting like cap. And he puts it on and it also has 56. And you hear like a, you know, because they're the hardwooden ones. And he just like, and he's about to like hit the pellets. And they're all coming at him like a bunch of baseballs. So he just swings at all of them. Boom, boom. And he's just hitting all of them back. And he's like, nah. And he's just like having a good time. And he's like, have a taste of your own medicine. And Saturn and the Warman or Top Man are like, what the? And then, boom, they just fucking explode. Huge explosion. Luffy's eyes pop out of his head and he's like, what the? They explode? Because, you know, you don't know if that's going to, boom, blow up in his face before he hits it. But it's Luffy. He's rubber. I'm pretty sure that bat turned into rubber and he just fucking hit him back. And they just fucking exploded. And they're like, and then we see a bunch of giants in the back and they're like, captains, the flames will block off the forest. Let's go right now. And Broggy's like, they're gone though. Because he thinks they're dead. And he's like, no, we gotta hurry. These guys can't die. And then you see them like emerging out of the shadows again. And they're like, what? And they're like, all right, let's go. And then they just start like running away. And they're like, then let's get a move on. Are they really immortal? And Luffy's like, I have no idea. But no matter what I do, they just keep coming back. And he's like, I've never heard of any race or ability granting that kind of power. He's like, we may be running, but I still count this as a victory. And he's just like having a fun time. You see like a bunch of flame just coming out of the forest. Dory and Broggy are running. Luffy's just kind of floating above them. Just, I don't know. I think he's like on Dory's shoulder. Now we cut back to Nami. And they're all, you see Usopp, Lilith, Brooke. You know, they're all just trying to get the ship, you know, back down. Because it was slid up like this. So they got to like get it back down. And they're like, Jinbei, Zoro, hurry up. And they're like, we're on our way. And they're like, it's faster to just run normally. Because he's using the boots that are like propelling him. So he's like, and they're like, dude, just run. Now we cut to Bonnie. And she's like headed towards, you know, the Elbaf ship. And they're like, oh shit, in front of the ship, look. And then we see a bunch of vice admirals. And we see the double chin guy. We see like this dude that's like cracking his knuckles. You know, he's like, you ain't going nowhere, jewelry Bonnie. And then we also cut and we see Sanji carrying Vegapunk. And end of chapter, like I said, 3-week break. Now, I lied because that's not the end of the chapter. We got an extra page. A bonus page, per se. And we see the Itsumare. And he's like, where's the room displayed on the monitor? And York is like, a monster! And then it talks. And she's like, it spoke! Who are you? Leave me be! And she's like freaking out. And, you know, he made it towards York. Now we cut to a marine ship. And we hear, Kizuru-san, are you hurt? Let us treat you. And he's covering his eyes. And he's like, my wounds run deep. We should attend to them right away then. He's like, just let me rest already. And he's like trying to be deep, like, my wounds are deep. They shall never be healed. They're like, dude, we should like do something. And he's like, dude, shut up. I'm mourning right now. Fuck. And they're like, come in. Come in. something way bigger than a giant just showed up. And then you hear, keep, keep. And then it's like, on the northwest shore, the flames aren't even phasing it. What is it? It's like a titan in the middle of the inferno. And it seems to be growling or something. And we finally see the ancient giant standing up. And that guy is creaking all over the place. And the first thing it says is, "Forgive me, Joy Boy." Official end of chapter. That was awesome. A lot of stuff all over the damn place. Now, a lot of people were saying, chapter 1111 is going to be Zoro's chapter, so get ready because Noshiro versus Zoro is coming. And I was like, dude, I literally said this in my previous review. No, it's not. Oda's just sprinkling it, you know? He's just saying like, hey, this guy, he's dangerous. I mean, all of them are, but he's like, hey, this guy can tap into the underworld like Brook. Fucking Black Blade. Giant Centaur. You know, swordsman apparently on like super high level. And it's like, I don't think Zoro's gonna fight him yet. We gotta get the fuck out. That's what I mentioned last review. I was like, everyone's like, well, no, we gotta leave like immediately. And that looks like the case. Now, my question was, how are they gonna deal with it? You know, like, they're gonna try to get away with the marine ships and shit, the girls here and there. So it's like, maybe the giant, now that he's shown up, he's gonna be able to, you know, do something about the girls saying like, I don't know, damage one of them or kill one of them or something, you know? Maybe this thing knows how to kill him. Or maybe he's gonna like recognize him and be like, it's you five again. After all this slumber and you're still alive, you know, or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. Because it seems like he's thinking this, kind of like Zunisha. It's not like he said it, but they're like, he's growling, like, you know, or something. But he's thinking, forgive me, Joy Boy. And it seems like he has a consciousness, you know? So, that's rather interesting. Now, the other interesting thing is, when Luffy went into his gear fit, that's when this thing activated. What if they get on the ship, and Luffy, you know, he's like, I can't hang on to this anymore, and then he just, he turns into an old man, and he's like, food, rest, you know, and then this thing just goes back to, Joy Boy, damn it, and then he just, like, falls asleep again. I don't know, dude. There's a lot of stuff to be discussed from this chapter, like, more in depth and stuff. But this chapter was awesome. I really loved it. 3-week break, so I don't know what I'm going to do for videos, but maybe I could talk about other manga. Maybe I could talk about the anime itself, you know, maybe review, or not review, but like, talk about where we're at, you know, everything that's happened up to this point, you know, by chapters, and just sum it up into like a summary for the people that want to get into, you know, reading Egghead. I don't know. I'm just spewing ideas right now. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next week with a review or a discussion about something else or One Piece itself. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.